educational goal, how it may be achieved through SIDC research and practice progressively. Well, it's really challenging for me to organize this panel. It's not because how to organize a panel, but the topic. Well, maybe it's for me it's too young to think about a global educational goal. but it's really well kind of fun to discuss this topic. How well is comes from harmony and well-being, actually proposed and advocated by Huai. And it's almost the end of year, the end of 2023. Should be a very enjoyable and very everybody should enjoy and welcome the new year. But this year, a lot of very big problems happen in the world. We have the Russia-Ukraine war, and of course, unfortunately, have the Israel-Pakistan conflict, and we have the climate change. I think there are a lot of ways to solve those problems, but education might be the best one and might be the powerful one to solve it. So, well, it's really fun to, it's really interesting to discuss this topic. And well, we have four very good friends from Norway, Philippines, of course Taiwan, my college, and from mainland China, Wei Qin, Marie, and Yun Tian, and Sheng Quan. Sheng Quan just has a newborn baby, so he cannot come here, but he more than happy to join us to discuss this topic via the internet, so he will join us. And this is the agenda, but we might not follow the agenda because our panelists today would like to modify it a little bit anyway. But overall, we will share the ideas on global hardware goals as the global educational goal, and what does the concept of the new world hardware? Hardware means harmony and well-being. Well, proposed and advocated by the web, but as I know is this last idea, right? Maybe. And what are our global educational goals? Is it possible we have a lot of educational goals, or we only have one educational goal? And what are the challenges to achieve hardware, and how to respond to those challenges? And could be the SIDC. SIDC has been talked a lot in this workshop. Could the SIDC theory be a way to achieve the hardware idea? So maybe Wei Qin first to share with us about the idea of the global hardware. Okay, welcome, Wei Qin.
everybody. Thank you, Ben and Taiwan, for inviting me to join this panel. I would like to see a little bit about my background and my study points, and that will give me a build up for what I'm going to comment on the global hardware. Can you hear me okay? I don't think this is on, but I can use this one. So I was born in China, and I had all my education in China, and then I moved to Japan after my PhD, and then after a few years in Japan, I moved to Norway, and this is one of the Scandinavian countries in the north. Yeah. So I have experienced the different educational systems. After I think I've been in China for about 20 years, over 20 years, and now I have spent over 20 years in Norway. So I have my experience of educational system both in Norway and in China. So I feel that I have done some reflection over the years in terms of how the schools works and how I've learned and how the Norwegian educational system works. So today, I think I'm very grateful for Taiwan and Bun to invite me to join this panel so I can share some of my reflections and my suggestions and comment to the Global Harvell Initiative. And you can see this in the picture is the two cabins in the forest. So in fact, there's many such cabins in Norway in the wood, and children, and they built this wood. I think the one in the under maybe built by young children. So they grow up with going to the woods and select this, maybe take some woods from home and go to the forest and build such cabin. So they spend time, and some of them are quite advanced actually. So coming back to global Harvell now. Taiwan, I have borrowed this slide from you in your Meta-ACES keynote. Yeah. So here, the SIDC framework and how it related to the global Harvell and harmony and well-being of children. So there's 4 activities. I'm not going to go through in details. I just read out the learning activities, Harvell outcome, seamless accessibility, equality, and environment. So this is AI powered. So in I will mainly comment on the two, the two bottom, the seamless accessibility and equality and the environment. So when in Taiwan's seamless accessibility block, and it includes human resources, digital resources, and digital safety. So when I look at the seamless accessibility, I think about the accessibility to digital technologies. Now, there's a lot of new technologies, including AI, but we should remember that digital technology should not create a new equality for children or students from different parts of the world. for example, for those who have and who do not have, for those who have access and for those who do not have access. So to me, the digital accessibility, meaning the digital technology, content, and environment should be accessed, understood, and used to the greatest extent possible by all people, regardless of their age, size, ability, and disability. So when I grew up in China, and we have special schools for students with special needs or with disabilities. But in Norway, there's no such schools. Everybody go to the same school. So everybody go to the mainstream schools. And so the children, they grow up with the other peers that has a disability. So therefore, they are more acceptable because they have become their friends. And now in my own research in higher education, in our surveys, we asked the student and the faculty members, and how do they know about accessibility? And they said many of them, they have never experienced anybody who has some kind of disabilities. So this, and I think it's important that we think about the diversity, and then the digital technologies, the ChatGPTs, the AI systems should not create new barriers to the people. And so that we provide equal opportunities to education. So this is one of my comment to the seamless accessibility, to the framework that I refer to. So if you think about the virtual reality, just the example, how many people can actually use the virtual reality application? Have we talked about, when we designed the technology, have we thought about people who actually are not able to use these virtual reality applications? And have we provide equal alternative for them, for those people who do not have or cannot access them? My next point my next comment is to the equity and environment block, the box. So non-discriminatory inclusiveness and environmental safety and conservation. I think these 2 points you have, Taiwan, in the SIDC framework is to ensure the equity and the environmental safety. And I wanted to add here is diversity and differences. And we earlier talked about the values and how do we teach children values. I think in our global powwow, we should think about how do we promote differences, because we are all different, and we should not ignore the individual difference and only go for the conformity. So again, I come back to the school children. If they have experienced their peers are different in different colors, different background, and when they grow up, and they will be more acceptable and more understanding to the differences. So this will also contribute to the safety of the world, I believe. So if we acknowledge the difference and we respect each other's differences. And children, they are all also different. You can see that case, you know, we are not born equal. We are born different. We are born differently. So I think this point that I try to make is that the diversity of each individual should be promoted, and we should teach our next generations to respect the differences. And pedagogically and in technology, in education design, we should also think about how do we accommodate the differences and how do we promote the diversity. So at this point, I only have this to comment, and I followed Ben's 3 minutes, so that's my 3 minutes for the first comment round.
The next panelist is Didi.
Hello, good afternoon. I didn't prepare a PowerPoint, but what I did is I wanted to comment specifically on something that was in the Global Harwell website introduction. Two of the questions that, or challenges that it posed were, can we develop partnerships, processes, and learning environments that can reduce divisiveness and engender abilities to talk, work, and learn across differences? Can we design to disrupt othering and hate, and to promote empathy and care? Okay, so I wanted to limit my comments to two things, and maybe just to give you the context of where I'm from the Philippines. So we are a developing nation, not far from Japan. We're about 3.5 hours away, and we do have a high degree of poverty in the country. And so one of the big problems that we have among our school children is the problem of hunger. Sorry, I'm going to take off my glasses again. In 2020, which was the height of the pandemic, 31% of Filipino families experienced hunger, and 9% were experiencing severe hunger. In 2021, it was estimated that about 3 million Filipino children were hungry. And so this has a profound effect on their capacity to learn. Because when you're hungry, this disrupts your ability to concentrate. It disrupts your growth, your physical growth, the amount of energy that you have. It affects your memory and many other things. If you have a hungry child, that child will not be able to learn. And so one of the things that we work on in my university is we actually have a school feeding program. We work with public schools and with private sector partners to provide meals to children. Now, of course, we cannot make that big an impact on 3 million children, but we do what we can, because we see it as a first step in promoting wellness and hopefully down the road learning. The other comment I wanted to make was on disinformation. This was something that we experienced very much during the pandemic and in last year's elections. We had very controversial elections last year. Because of the pandemic, more and more people spent more and more time online. It was estimated that people were spending about 4 hours a day on social media. And the problem that we have in our country is that about half, 51% of Filipinos cannot discriminate between factual information and fake news. And this, when many people are getting much of their news from social media, so if they see something in social media, they assume that it's true. And this is something that we saw the effects of this during the elections. And so the problem that arises is that much of our history, if you're not familiar with Filipino history, we went through about 20 years of martial law, which was a very brutal time. Much of that history is being erased, and this is challenging our definition of democracy, and as well as our national aspirations. So, before we were trying to work as a nation towards collective progress, there's a lot more. You can see that there's been a real change, and we're returning to some old ways of doing politics, which we were really trying to undo. The effect, or what we as educators would like, of course, is to raise a generation of children with the capacity for critical thought, the value for truth. Chang was talking about values, and this is something that I resonate with as well. We have to teach our children values, and if we do not, then what will that do down the road for our society? I think this is where I'll end for now. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, NCC. And the third one is Yutian.
Good afternoon, everyone. I prepared several slides. Okay, I have to say that this topic is quite challenging for me, Yeah, when I read all the questions that proposed by Ben, I start to think about more questions. And among these questions, actually, I have 3 questions that maybe I think about it, and maybe I have some initial ideas about it. The first question is that, is it possible for us to have the global educational goal? If yes, what is it? That is why I have this kind of question, because I read one article from Cosma, and in this article talk about the economic development data and the knowledge data. And actually, for different kind of economic system, we have different educational system. And for example, in sustained economy, we have basic education approach system. In commercial economy, we have knowledge acquisition approach system. And for emerging economy, and we have knowledge deepening approach system. And now for Taiwan, we are always saying that we want to be one of the knowledge economy society. So now we are trying to have a knowledge creation approach system. So my question is that, we have so many countries, and maybe we are in different kind of economic status, and we have different kind of educational systems. Is it possible we have a co-shared goal? So if yes, what's that? So I think maybe sustainable development goals could be, we have 17 goals, that SDGs goals, and these are all big problems, these are all big issues, and everyone recognizes that. That's very important, no matter which country you are from. That's very important for our education. So I think that's maybe one of some issues that we are going to solve. So maybe these issues, no matter for Taiwan, for Japan, for Indonesia, for any other countries, and to solve these global issues, we need a collective efforts. Because of globalization, we cannot just say, oh, it's not our problem. So, from my perspective, okay, I can accept Howell could be served as the global educational goal, because when we try to solve this kind of problem, we must have some goal. That is, we want to not only make us better, but want to make our society, not only our family, our society, and the earth much better. So, okay, I think Howell could be served as this kind of goal. And the second question is that, how to achieve that? For me, maybe we can use this as context. These issues are global issues, but we also have a lot of local problems related to this kind of issue. And these problems, actually, they are authentic for learners, for our students, for our teachers. So I think that's maybe one important context for us. And also, to solve this problem, we need collective efforts from knowledge creators, because these problems are complex, and maybe we don't have a very, I should say, perfect solutions. So, how to prepare our students to become this kind of knowledge creators? So, SIDC could be should be promising to achieve that. So from my perspective, I try to make the relationship between these concepts more clear to me, then I can move on. But I think no matter for SIDC or achieving Howell, it's still a long way for us. The first thing is our conceptualization, and especially we all know we have different culture, and in different countries maybe we have different culture of learning. That's what we call learning system, but actually it's one kind, it's culture. So how can we communicate this kind of concept among different cultures of learning? So this is the first challenge. And then the second is that we have two ways to achieve that. One is just the kind of, okay, how well is our only goal. The other is how can we combine that with our formal educational system? How can we make, and maybe it needs time to change. And the third question is about teacher preparation, because for teachers, take me as an example. I don't have this kind of learning experience, but I had to design this kind of curriculum or learning activities. And I don't have this kind of experience to co-work with others to co-work on SDGs, but I have to do that. So teacher must become a learner, a long life learners. Then they can guide, they can show how brave we are because we never learned that before. So teacher preparation, course design, and the assessment system. Yeah, maybe this is. And so that's what I say. The next point is the experimental school, so empirical evidence. That will be needed. Yeah, because everyone believes what they see. If we have an example, it's very easy for everyone to see, oh, that's it. Okay, so I only have some initial ideas about it. And the last one is that we don't have harmony and well-being until we all have harmony and well-being. Yeah, that's quite different concept because from my learning experience, we all pursue personal, individual achievements. But when we talk about harmony, not personal harmony, family harmony, social harmony, and global harmony, when we talk about well-being, not individual well-being. So I just think about it. Yeah, that's almost all for my very initial idea about this topic. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ying-Tian. We have the fourth speaker. Okay, Chang, can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Chang. Chang just has a newborn baby, so he cannot come to here. But congratulations. Okay. So it's your turn now.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is I'm from Regional Maintenance in China. Today I will show a topic cognitive harmony and well-being in the age of artificial intelligence. In traditional Chinese culture, there have always been a pursuit of harmony and well-being, the core of which is permitting virtuous culture field and virtuous culture expression, and play a guide law in four ideas. The first is the understanding of the evolution of all things in the world, the idea of use the yin and yang, and the five elements to represent the trends of change in things. Second is the understanding of human society and nature, the harmony between human and nature, the oneness of the heaven and the humanity thought. Third is the understanding of social relations between people, the Zhonghe and the Zhongyong throughout the guidelines and the solution of social problems. The fourth is the understanding of the one's own existence, the holistic system way of traditional challenge Chinese medicine, and the self-culture and self-restraint law, the guide how to treat oneself. But in the the intelligent era, calls for the new harmony of human and machine relations. As artificial intelligence becomes stronger and stronger in knowledge and memorization, retrieval, and processing, what do we humans excel in the future? And what kind of competence do we need to develop in our students to enable them to adapt to the smart society of the future? The expression of information and the knowledge will make social life more and more complex and require more and more knowledge for people to survive. Cognitive outsourcing is inevitable as knowledge and complex grows far beyond human cognitive capability. In the face of complexity, outsourcing part of the cognitive process to intelligent device and the shift from individual cognition to distributed cognition, combine human and machine, are fundamental to human adaptation to complexity in the intelligent age. Cognitive outsource is achieved through the cognitive chunking and the chunking linking. Cognitive chunking is the process of the organization and recording input items to form large units of information. Cognitive chunking shares complex information into a single chunk, simplified as cognitive complexity, expands the human cognitive chain, enable the cognitive subject to understand the overall picture of the flow of events, acquires the ability to drive the overall picture, and enhance the ability to native complexity. Looking at the cognition as a whole, cognitive outsourcing is essential. Combined human-computer mindset, where external cognition provides information, internal cognition realizes the meaning generation, and the improvement of the external cognitive efficiency enhances human cognitive ability as a whole. Cognitive outsourcing extends the human brain. Cognitive outsourcing is a strategy of using external resources to extend or replace one's own cognitive ability. Artificial intelligence supported cognitive chunking is the process of breaking down the complex tasks into meaningful units to facilitate automated intelligent processing. Cognitive chunking linking is the process of connecting different chunks through association or integration to form high-level cognitive structure. Cognitive outsourcing is achieved through the cognitive chunking and chunking linking, which is a method to improve cognitive efficiency and quality. But if the imbalance and the fragment of internal and external cognition will create the trap of cognitive outsourcing. When people have a weak and petty brain face the complex and powerful external knowledge network, there will be a problem in the trap of cognitive outsourcing. The first trap is lazy thinking and infantile light. The teenager over-relies on AI and the lack of cognitive engagement in learning will result in stagnant brain and mind growth. The second trap is the loss of cognitive subjectivity. When we use the AI, the ideal scenario is a large-scale, efficient, different collective work. But due to the insufficient completeness of people's own internal cognitive network, unable to make the chunk linkage, there will be risks and challenges. marginalization, loss of subjectivity, loss of cognitive subjectivity. This is the second. The fourth trap is the third trap is cognitive display and fragmentation. There are more and more channels for information. The means of obtaining information are becoming more and more advanced, but the discrete, the fragment are becoming more and more serious. So this is the trap. So how to close the cognitive outsourcing trap? The core characters of the effective cognitive outsourcing is the internal and external cognition should be able to generate substantive connection, and the internal cognition should be able to realize the understanding and the generation of meaning. Therefore, it is necessary to realize the balance between internal and external cognitive network. Only when the internal cognitive network is completed and strong enough can we properly utilize that and effective manage powerful external intelligent device. Without a completed internal cognitive network, external intelligent tools will use the information cocoon that make people lose their subjectivity. So the smart area needs to change from centering on developing intelligence to coordination the development of intelligence and non-intelligence, and from centering on the acquisition of subject knowledge to the cultivation of cognitive. And the smart area needs to cultivate the ability and the ability of combining human and machine. We not only need to give the students some data, information, and knowledge, but also need to cultivate students' understanding, insight, and even life wisdom. So perhaps the IDC will one of the parts. This is my share. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Chang.
Okay, thank you, Chang. Hardware is a very new term, and before we have the further discussion, and I'm wondering, our audience, do you have any questions before we have the further discussion? Yeah, please.
Okay, thanks for your presentation. What you said really resonates with my ideas. What I usually call this is a human-aware AI. I also think that it must be reflected in stronger effort in AI literacy. We have a project on education to use AI-powered social media, like most of them are. I'm still not sure that education is enough. For example, I can see in television and in many conditions that highly educated people still get into conspiracy theories. So I'm not sure that, I don't know, education by itself, like we are doing now, is enough. What do you think?
Any response? Which or video?
I agree with you completely that education is not enough because I think that's why we go back to values. So Wicked and I were talking about the importance of values. If we have the knowledge but we don't have the values, then it's like giving a child a loaded gun, right? I mean, you can use that knowledge for evil. and so the education that we provide is a values-laden education. It's not just knowledge for its own sake, but it's knowledge in service of what we hope is the global good.
I can add to Lily's comment on this. I think it's a very important topic that you brought up, and very much appreciate that. This is a good question. So I think in education is not about knowledge. It's about the value and also how you build up you as a person, as a citizen. So I think there are a lot of other characteristics to build up in education that our education system are currently missing. In my experience looking at the Chinese education systems and the Norwegian systems, I have seen that the Norwegian system has much more, education system has much more character building mechanism in their schools than at least when I was a student in schools. Of course, I'm talking about many years ago. I think China has already changed quite a bit, but I think building up character and to cultivate a person to be a good citizen in the society, and this is something that I think our education system needs to reform. And, I don't know. I don't have a answer for this question yet. But I think this is a good point for us to reflect on what we can do to improve the educational system, so that we will build up the person, that they can become a good citizen, and that contribute to the global well-being.
Okay. Well, we all have our educational goal and how to nurture our next generation to have a more well-being. Might be the other. It might be our one of our educational goal. And I am curious. There are other questions. Oh, yeah, please.
I just want to add something. Sorry, I totally agree with everything that everybody said, and I think it has to do, because when we are educated, we learn certain skills, right? At school, we might learn certain skills that we need to solve mathematical problems, then at home we might learn to cook, so everything is skills, but then it's also the application to have ethical values, to apply them in an ethical way. So I feel that it's one of the most important things. And also, recently the direction everywhere in the world is for people to be concerned a lot about their individual goals. But I feel like it's also important the benefit of the community and society. So people in education not only to be oriented of everybody's individual goals, also for the well-being of the community and people around you.
Yeah, thank you for the comment. And okay, okay, maybe we still have time, so maybe we can move on the second round discussion. How might not be an educational term, but from your point of view, what does it mean from educational point of view over the hardware. Some of our audience might have some ideas, but maybe we can have some discussion about it. What does it mean from educational point of view? And would you want to start first?
I can. Thank you. I think this is related to the answer I have given to the first question. To me, I think the educational system needs to be reflected on. So as I said, that in the Norwegian kindergarten and schools, they are already to teach the children a lot of the values that I thought that I missed when I grew up. So this is something that I think in Asian countries we might focus very much on the exams and the knowledge, and I have been drilled in mathematical problems in hundreds of times. But I think that the framework in general that is missing, that how to be a good person in the society, this is something that I wish that I had been trained for. Yeah. Thank you.
BJ, you raised the problem, you say, from the educational point of view. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by, but what is education to you, first of all? What is education to you? Can you tell me right away? So when you're saying the educational point of view, right? I think kind of responding to Wei Chin's point. So that means you have some idea, some definition to you for education.
Education, from my point of view, is to nurture our generation, our next generation, or even by ourselves, to be a much better person.
Another thing is that not many of us here know about what is education. And then you ask us, and then you have your point of view of education.
Yeah.
Very strange, right? If we are very happy with our world today, not only science and technology advancement, then are we happy with our education at this point? And I heard about the hunger in Philippines and so on. You heard about the wars, the global conflicts.
Okay.
Could I respond?
Yeah, sure.
Taiwan, I think you have a very important point that you put Ben on the spot to answer what do you mean by this education. And so personally, I think that the value the children learn in schools actually can contribute to the global sustainability goals. So you talk about hunger, there's no poverty, right? So there's one goal called no poverty. So what our education can do that can reduce poverty? So I think some of my colleagues doing projects in Africa, and that they educate children in a way that the first thing they talk about is that how it's not to add the Western values to Africa, but how to develop themselves so that they become an independent person, so that they can grow out of the poverty. So I think some of the ideas in our educational system, again, I come back to the educational systems, that how actually, what can we do in our educational system? in our school system, in our kindergarten systems, what we can do, and of course, families, right? So those play plays very important roles in cultivate people and later and contribute to the society, to development. And in Chinese, we see you 10年树木百年树人. It means that you use 10 years to grow a tree, but you need 100 years to cultivate a person. So this is a long term. I think we in the global Harvard, we need to think a long term. This is what my opinion.
Definitely, I think to fulfill the goal of global Harvard, it may take at least a century or several centuries, I don't know. But there's a pressing need. We should start now. We should start now. We cannot wait. Education cannot wait. Our next generation, they are growing every day. So this is the point.
Would you want to share more?
于老师升公司里哦，我们的主持要请你来 respond. So first, congratulations for the newborn daughter or son, and Ben Chang asks you to respond something.
I think I supply one of the in the intelligent AI, perhaps the harmony and the well-being will be more focused on the technology and the intelligent technology, because the intelligent knowledge will be the survival of our life. So, in the young should be able to how to connecting, how to collaborate with the intelligent technologies, artificial intelligence. They'll be the one of the most important things. So this is my opinion.
Okay. Well, any further questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My question is around for young researchers or even students who are emerging in the field. Where do you think they should start from? Because the context here is there is a track where you are trying to meet the requirements for achieving the degree or the goals of the field that has been set, and then there is that other arm that is pulling you to move towards how well. But where do you draw the balance to move to advance?
I think you have to make a distinction between what you have to do for your degree and what you have to do for humanity. If you make Harwell your goal for the dissertation or the thesis, you may never finish, but I think what you should think of is your thesis as the first step towards achieving the bigger goal. Honestly, it gets very discouraging, and even for somebody my age. You work on things that you think will be good interventions, that you rationalize them, you co-design with teachers, etc. And then you find out at the end that you didn't achieve the traction that you hoped you would get. So right now, I think we presented a paper earlier today about the challenges to sustainability of our innovations. And you see that it's really very hard to make a dent. So you just sort of remind yourself that, okay, it's one step. And I think throughout my career, at least, I don't know if it will be the same for you, I just have to remind myself that, it's one step. everything that you do is just one step, and hopefully, when you look back, you'll see that okay, maybe there was this pattern and this impact, but as you're taking the step, you're not really sure, and there's a lot of self-doubt that comes into it. But if you at least do as much as you can with what resources you have, and you keep your eye on the bigger goal, I think that's all we can do, really.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we have run out of our time, and we are going to have a keynote, and we will have a further panel tomorrow, so welcome to join us to discuss about hardware. And thank you for very good panelists, and thank you all for joining us. Thank you.
Because actually, Professor Chang asked for a quick heads up, but then I suppose it's going to be more details on the keynotes, not only about the keynotes tomorrow. Yeah, maybe tomorrow give more details about hosting a series of forums and paper writing. Is a project that we are planning to do. So I think Prof. Chang will say a little bit for tomorrow. Then he will announce to more than 300 participants. Thank you. Thank you. Take a group photo while you are still here. Yeah, everybody, all the entire audience, not just presenters or whatever.
Okay, welcome to join us to take a photo, please.
The background is with the check. Can you check? Help us to take.
Turn on the light.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can't use this.
Yes, like this.
Just okay.
For the two groups of panelists who are still with us in this room, can you stay back if I are available? We have a quick discussion on some of the future SIDC plans.
Can change the background?
Just touch this button?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Three, two.
Come on, yeah. Everyone.
Hey, come on, audience, all join us. Everyone join us.
Everyone. Your summer. Are we in the same season?
Everybody take a roll. Taking a toy now.
Want to join us?
Right.
Sorry, I can't get your face.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, チーズ。
これでしょ。
3, 2, 1, チーズ。
Thank you.